Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to take my 2017 RadCity and do another throttle-only range test. I did this a while back, but we went just over 22 miles. I think it was 22.6 miles by using the throttle only. So the bike only has just over 1,200 miles on it. The battery didn't do that many cycles, but it's been sitting in the closet, so I want to test it out. The ground is wet. It's 63, 64 degrees. So the conditions are a little bit different from when I did it 4 or 5 years ago. We'll see. It's not an apples to apples test for those who are very detail oriented. We also got a Tesla Model 3. So when you put down the seats, you can actually fit this huge bike in here. So let's go from the trunk view and let's see this. So we got the trunk open. Here's the bike. So what I had to do was take off the fender. You can see that there's no fender here. Obviously the front wheel is off. To carry this bike into here, had to slide it from this way, and it is, to be honest, a very difficult thing to do just because there's a lot of weight on the bike, and when you're holding the bike up and trying to push it in, you got most of the weight away from you, so it feels very heavy, and trying to slide that thing in is difficult, but I got it in. We got the bike set up, tire on, battery on, phone mount on. We have a full battery, charged it overnight, starting at 0 miles. So we'll see how this thing goes. We got the car charging here. All right, let's get started. Here we go. We made it 4.5 miles in without the fender. When the road's wet, it's a terrible ride. Let me show you. So you can see here, I'm just getting blasted by water from the front wheel. So water is shooting up, from the bottom, and then basically just spraying up towards me, and I'm just completely wet. Most of these 4.5 miles I've been standing up just to get out of that spray. So I'm gonna clean myself off. I'm gonna continue this ride since we're already in it. So this is definitely not an apples to apples comparison, but I'm still interested. I'm gonna have a lot of wind resistance, standing up, it's not as aerodynamic. So I'm pretty sure that we won't get that 22-mile mark. I can almost guarantee that, but we shall see. We are now here at Quinnipiac's stadium. Quinnipiac is a university in Connecticut. And I stopped the ride at 7 miles because I got called to go do something. That was this morning, and now it's about 7:30 at night, and I continued the ride. So now we're at 4.5 miles. So that's 7 plus 4.5. We did 11.5 miles so far. Our battery says 2 bars. In the last ride, I kept it under 500 watts, and I totally forgot to mention that. So this ride I've been keeping, when I'm doing the throttle only, I'm keeping it always 500 watts or below. But I'm gonna continue this ride and we'll see how far we get. We are still going. As you can see, it's now 8:22 at night. It's getting dark, and we're at 13 miles. So plus our 7 miles this morning, we're at 20 miles of throttle only so far. To be honest, I am actually very surprised. I was doubtful that we would get 20 miles on this thing. Keep in mind, as I mentioned earlier, this battery is 5 years old. 1,233 miles on this battery. So not that much riding, but still, for a battery that's 5 years old, it held up pretty well, as you can see. We'll see how much further we can go. So here we are, 0.7 miles after that last check-in. We're at 20.7 miles. That's actually pretty good, considering that this morning it was wet, rainy. I had to stand up so that I don't get blasted with water. Wasn't the most aerodynamic riding. Very surprised that we were able to get 20.7 miles off of this thing. Based on my experience, dropping it down to pedal assist 1, and if I pedal along, this thing will go another 2, 3, 4 miles. Try to get this motor to cut out. There you go. So I'm full throttle. You can see the battery light blinking. So now if we let go of the throttle, and now if I pedal, at pedal assist 1, at this low of battery, we're at about 59, 60 watts. And I can go like this for a very, very long time. All right, so we are still going. We're at 15.1 miles. Still running on pedal assist 1, just pedaling along. This thing will go another 3 miles. So if you're ever doing pedal assist 3, which pushes out mid 400 watts, pedal assist 2, which pushes 180 watts, and the motor's cut out, just wait a little bit, drop it down to pedal assist 1, where it's just pulling a low amount of power, as you can see here, and you'll pretty much go an extra couple miles to get you home, or get you as close to home as possible. But I am pretty much home now, so hopefully this video is valuable, gives everyone an idea of how long these batteries last and what kind of range degradation happens over the course of 5 years.